So oversimplified, one of the best, two aircrafts that the U.S. Air Forces use quite often. So we're going to check out two videos. One is the Apache helicopter. I mean the AC or AS 64 longbow Apache helicopter, and one is like the AC-130. We're going to check out and why the US need to send some to Nevis, because we're right in the Caribbean. So if South America tried to attack Mexico and so right into the heart of South America, so we're going to check it out. Tomorrow I probably will not be making a YouTube video. If not, it probably will be a history or reaction to a friend of mine, because we have planned it, so we have a deal. So let's check it out. We gotta stop. How massive is that fireball? Is that like a flamethrower? I know it's not a flamethrower because a flamethrower can't shoot that far, so yeah. And it's banned in the United Nations, I think. Like, I know Russia have some big, but
this is America's lethal AC-130 gunship on steroids.
Steroids?
The historic, lethal, and combat-tested AC-130 gunship, known for attacking ISIS and Taliban fighters during close air support high-risk combat missions, is getting a massive technological upgrade with newer weapons and avionics to increase the effectiveness of the attack platform and extend.
Was that gun moving by itself is autonomous? If so, the US is supposed to be reckoned with. I don't know about any Russian planes like that, neither Chinese. I don't know. Like, is it high altitude like aircraft, or is like this close air support like the Chinook, not the Chinook, I mean like the Warthog or something like that. I don't know. Is it air to air, air to ground? Why does the US need this? Well, yeah, the US is a military system, so yeah. And please don't tell me the US is not a military system. The US doesn't have any culture other than its military. So yeah, all that binds them together.
Life into decades, service officials said. AC-130 gunship work involves upgrading the plane with weapons, targeting systems, and sensor packages. Colonel Robert Toth, Chief of Tactical Air...
Sorry.
Aircraft, Special Operations, and Combat Search and Rescue Division told Scout Warrior in an interview. Early variants of the AC-130 gunship first entered combat in the late 1960s during the Vietnam War. Later variants served in the Gulf War, War on Terror, and War in Afghanistan, among other missions. The gunship and Special Operations Command are often used to support Special Operations fighters on the ground engaged in combat. The aircraft is known for its 105mm side-firing cannons, which enable it to fire from a
105mm? That's like a... If some of you don't know, the Russian tank, the KV-2, has a 110. And it was that destroyed tank's frontal armor at 105, but it was a short barrel. If it was a long barrel 10, that would have penetrated a lot.
Side axis position during close-in combat supporting ground troops. The AC-130 gunship also has a 25mm Gatling gun and a 40mm weapon, according to Air Force statements. The Lockheed Boeing-built aircraft uses 4 Allison T-56A-15 turboprop engines, each with 4,300 shaft horsepower. The 155,000-pound aircraft has a 132-foot wingspan and hits speeds of 300 miles per hour. Its crew consists of a pilot, co-pilot, navigator, fire control officer, electronic warfare officers, flight engineer, TV operator, infrared detection operator, loadmaster, and 4 aerial gunners. The AC-130's Spooky 2 gunship is a standard C-130 transport aircraft engineered for close air support combat. Its 105mm gun, called an M102 howitzer, fires 33-pound high-explosive shells at a firing rate of 10 rounds a minute, according to a report in Popular Mechanics. The weapon has a range of up to 7 miles and is the largest gun ever operated from a U.S. Air Force aircraft, the report said. The aircraft's 25mm Gatling gun, the GAU-12, is the same weapon now on the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter. The weapon fires both high explosive incendiary and armor-piercing incendiary rounds against enemy fighters, buildings, and light vehicles, Popular Mechanics write.
It's an API round that mostly is via API, armor-piercing incendiary round. Probably tracer as well.
C-130 Fleet. The AC-130 gunships make up a small portion of a fleet of roughly 500 C-130 planes throughout the Air Force and Special Operations Command, Toth explained. The cargo planes are used to airdrop supplies, equipment, weapons, and troops in forward deployed locations. As a propeller-driven aircraft, the C-130s can fly and land in more rugged conditions and withstand harsh weather, such as obscurance. The propellers make the aircraft's engines less susceptible to debris flying and causing operational problems for the engines. It really allows you to do that tactical movement of equipment and personnel to take the airplane to the last tactical mile. A lot of our transport strategic airlifters are meant to go to a hard runway somewhere, and then they turn over the cargo to be moved to the forward areas to a C-130 or a vehicle. The C-130 allows you to take that cargo and land on a smaller runway or unimproved airfield, Toth added. C-130s are used for domestic, international, and war zone transport, including homeland security, disaster relief, and supply deliveries, among other things. There are probably missions that have yet to be dreamed up for the C-130, Toth said. The fleet consists of 135 more modern C-130J aircraft and 165 older C-130Hs, which have been around since the 80s, Toth explained. Also, MC-130Js are specially modified airlifters engineered to transport Army Green Berets, Navy SEALs, and Army Rangers. They are essentially a C-130J further modified with defensive systems, with radar countermeasures and infrared radar and advanced sensors for specialized missions. They can also perform in-flight refueling, Toth explained.
If I haven't said this in the intro, we're checking out the Apache as well.
C-130 modernization. The Air Force remains vigilant about its C-130 fleet to ensure the airframes, wing boxes, avionics, and communication systems remain safe and operational. Of the older 1980s era C-130Hs, Toth added, the thing that causes the greatest risk to the airplane is the life of the wing. We monitor the wing of the aircraft, and as the wings get past their service, we bring the airplanes back in and bring in new structures, with the primary focus being the center wing box, which is the area where the wings mount to the fuselage, Toth said. As for when a C-130 requires a maintenance upgrade to preserve and maintain service life, or use an assessment referred to as equivalent baseline hours. The wing boxes are changed once the aircraft reaches a certain severity factor in its operational service time. This is necessary because the wear and tear or impact of missions upon an airplane can vary greatly depending upon a range of factors, such as the altitude at which a plane is flying, Toth said. Low-level flight may be 3 to 4 times the severity factor of flying at a higher level, he said. Avionics Modernization Program Increment 1 involves adding new 8.33 radios to the aircraft to improve communication, along with initiatives to upgrade cockpit voice recorders and digital data recorders. C-130s will...
And also, 1 minute, I got this shirt. St. Kitts, sister island of St. Nevis. If you could see that. Yeah. So we got shirt. I'm not putting up merch. Probably never. Actually might.
Will also receive new collision avoidance technology designed to prevent the planes from hitting terrain or colliding with one another midair. AMP Inc. 2 involves a larger scale effort to integrate digital avionics throughout the airplane. Inc. 2 will require 9 months to 1 year of work to be completed by 2028. This will allow us to bring the airplane from analog to digital, integrate a glass cockpit, and use touchscreen displays. We'll get away from the old systems of avionics we had.
Wait, they're using touchscreen display? Why if somebody like a fly or something? Yes, I know. A fly like hits one of the buttons, like shut down engine button or what? What if a fly, something like that? A screw that maybe they're coming down for maybe a cargo drop, so coming down and pull back up or something like that, and doing this maneuver, and then a screw or something hits the touch screen and presses shut down engine. What is the protocol for that? Just tell me.
Dial-driven instrumentation to where it's all digital. This makes us able to process a lot more information, Toth said. As part of the new C-130 modernization calculus, the Air Force will consider retiring some C-130Hs and replace them with newly built C-130Js. The service has the authority to acquire an additional 20 C-130Js, Toth added.
So, if they're retiring those, technically they're probably going to sell them. So a civilian could buy a C-130H. Well, yeah, I've seen people. Sometimes, okay, I have been to the States, right? And I saw we went to a Sunny and Fun, right? Sunny and Fun in Texas. Yeah, we went over there, right? And we saw well, I love aircraft, so I know most of the aircraft that they have in the state. But I think it was I forget what model. It was a Firefly or something like that. Yeah, it was like all like Vietnam jet. I know it came from Vietnam because it had those old Vietnam like flak vest in one of the seats or something. I don't know what was it, but I didn't want to put a flak vest. I know it was from Vietnam because yeah, I seen it in some Vietnam games, so yeah, it was from the Vietnam era.
We continue to evaluate where it makes sense to retire an older airplane and instead put that money into buying new airplanes, he said.
I think if we here with the aircraft taking off and landing, we have the Apache Longbow. and I might check out the A10. I love A10s. Okay, so we have the Apache Longbow, which is one of the best helicopters.
And when the pilots run it up, what's up? Hey guys, change your plan. Alright, that works. 8 PDs, 4 MPSMs. I know how you know how to do this. Yes, sir? Yeah, I got a loose plastic ring. Yeah. A loose plastic ring.
Then all I guess well, I guess the video ends here then. So everyone have a wonderful day, stay safe, and I know this is like a James from what his channel is like. James channel, odds one out. Wear your seatbelt. You have to say I love odd ones out. So see you probably either tomorrow or Monday. So see you. Bye.